All right, so we're going to build out LinkedIn systems right now. So we've already got our WeConnect account set up, but I'm going to show you how to leverage LinkedIn uh, to get a deal origination system up immediately, even while you're waiting for your private email server to be built out. Now, what's the use case here? The advantage to LinkedIn is you can get going immediately. However, you are limited to the amount of sends you can make per day. So generally, you're going to be capped at about 25 to 50 message sends, new messages a day. Whereas with email, you can effectively send unlimited if you have the infrastructure built out. So with LinkedIn, it's 25 to 50 per day per account. So how do we approach scaling LinkedIn? Well, you simply scale horizontally. So what you would do is you would have your main LinkedIn account, your personal LinkedIn account, and then you would simply get other team members' accounts or family members or friends, people that aren't using their account, make them employees, okay? And you would just add them to WeConnect. So you'd go add new here, and you can add additional accounts. So now you can, and they all need to have Sales Navigator, obviously, but now you can be sending out, 25 to 50 scaled across multiple accounts, right? You could theoretically have 10 if you want, okay? But I'd recommend doing about 5, okay? You have 5 accounts, right? And this is going to enable you to have something that's set up immediately. Like you can basically just go after this video, go find 4 other people who don't use their LinkedIn account, either from your team or family members or friends, rent their account, make them employees of your page on LinkedIn, edit their profile based on the structure that we used to build out your profile. And now you've got, sending capacity of 125 to, a few hundred sends per day. The advantage to LinkedIn is it's very targeted and your response rate will be very high. However, people aren't always in their LinkedIn inbox the same way they are with their email inbox. So what you'll find is you're not going to get a tremendous amount of responses immediately with LinkedIn, but it does cascade and compound over several weeks. So this is something that you can have as an ancillary channel running in the background that will compound over time. Also, keep in mind, we are using your main account most likely still to be generating investor connection appointments as well as advisory board member or advisor/mentor position campaigns. So keep that in mind. You may end up having to just use these new accounts that you find in order to run any sort of deal origination campaigns. So the setup is very similar to how we already did it, but if we're gonna approach the list building strategy, in terms of how we're actually going to build out a list for deal origination, I'm going to go over that right now. So let's say I want to be targeting companies in the artificial intelligence space, just as an example. We're going to go to geography, go United States, Europe, and Canada. Okay. Industry. Okay. There's nothing for artificial intelligence in industries, which is unfortunate. So how would I work through this? There's a few different functions that you can use here. You can either use the industry, you can use job titles, you can use company name, And you can also use keywords to filter for what you're looking for. So if I were to look for artificial intelligence, I would go in quotes. So this probably wouldn't be the best search if I were to just use keywords, because in the keywords search, you're going to, it searches for keywords anywhere on the page, not necessarily just company or their industry. It's anywhere on the page. So maybe a better way to go about this would be to just scroll through here and see if we can find anything that's related to AI. But it looks like, maybe computer, something to do with computers. And if we want, we can use GPT to figure out what universe we can go into. What industry universe is AI in? It's in tech, obviously. Let's see. It's a good exercise for us to go through this together, because it sometimes takes a little bit of refining and iterating to pinpoint what you're looking for within Sales Navigator. And I'm assuming most of you already have experience with this. Would it be in IT? Let's see what kind of tech it is. Technology, biotechnology, computing, citizen software. Probably be in software development, realistically. We're looking for AI companies, right? Yeah, that's more like it. There we go. Okay. Now, let's say we're looking for startups, right? We'd go years at current company. There we go. And I'd probably do 1 to 2, less than 1, if we're just going for startups, right? Now, one other thing which I mentioned in the previous module where we discussed doing LinkedIn campaigns, you are realistically only going to be able to import up to 2,000 contacts from your search into WeConnect. So what that tells us is we want to be very granular with what we're doing here, because a lot of them won't even be imported to begin with. So we can get very granular here. Years of experience, we could probably go like more than 10, 6 to 10. Yeah, that makes it better. This guy's at Polygon. See, Polygon's probably not something that we want, obviously. Now, here's where we go. Seniority level. So we want to go CXO. We want to go owner partner. That's realistically where I would leave it. Polygon, you know. Company. Here's a little trick. Let's try .ai. There we go. That's a little better. Let's try 3 to 5. Makes it a little better. Probably get rid of these as well. See, this gives us a decent search here that we could use. I mean, there's probably some in here that we could work with. Point is, you're essentially just trying to figure out a way to get as granular as possible. You look through the results to see if the people that have come up with your search parameters here are the ones that actually are going to be the kind of people that you want as prospects. And it seems like we've got a decent search result here. So you could use this, okay? You could use this type of search. Now, again, we're not really launching the campaigns here. I just want to go over at a high level how we would approach using LinkedIn as a channel to generate deal flow. Now, again, like I said, this is mainly going to be a method for you to use to get up and running immediately while you're waiting for your email server to be built out. Truthfully, I don't use LinkedIn for deal origination. I don't need to. I've got the email system in place that generates more than enough interest and demand than I possibly need, truthfully. And I kind of have to scale back sometimes the amount that I'm sending because we can't handle the throughput. So this is a way for you to get going immediately. That's the main use case. If you have it set up, you might as well keep it as an ancillary channel while you are building out everything else. Okay. And the way that we would approach this, if you are already running a campaign, is by getting multiple campaigns set up. Okay. And I just went over briefly how you would go through creating a search within Sales Navigator if you want to use this as a channel. Okay. The next thing that I want to go over and touch on here is something that's very important. So, each account should be going after a specific either industry, okay, or you have each account essentially what you want to ensure is that you aren't going to be overlapping who you're sending messages to. You don't want to be sending the same kind of message to the same person for multiple accounts. So if we did one search with AI here for one account, the other account would be doing another industry. Okay. At a high level, that is what you want to ensure, that there's no overlap and cross-pollination between accounts. Otherwise, it's just going to look like you are sloppy in your approach. So the easiest way to counteract that is simply by only using one account for one industry. Okay. So that's a bit on LinkedIn. We're going to move on to building out the rest of the tech stack in the next videos.